Hello class, we were studying the lesson plant life. In part 1, we have already studied about reproduction in case of plants, how the plants will reproduce in various ways. So the types of reproduction we have already studied in part 1. Let us continue the lesson studying about dispersal of seeds. We all know about plant seeds. Seeds are of two kinds, monocot seeds and dicot seeds. Dicot means two cotyledons will be there in the seed. Monocot means only one cotyledon will be there. So how the seeds will be thrown away from the plant, or how it will move away from the parent plant to be born as a new plant. So the ways in which the seeds get away from the parent plant is called as dispersal of seeds. What may happen if plants grow too close to each other? They will not get enough space, air, water, minerals and sunlight. So many of the plants may die out of lack of few things like air or water, or it may be minerals, or it may be lack of sunlight. So nature has provided the plants with many means of scattering the seeds far away from the parent plant. Since a plant produces a large number of seeds, it has to be thrown away, or it has to be scattered away from the parent plant for it to grow into a new plant. The scattering of the seeds away from the parent plant is called as seed dispersal. Fruits and seeds are scattered with the help of wind, water, animals, and with the explosion of fruits. Now, the wind or the water and the animals which help in scattering of the seeds and fruits are known as the agents of dispersal. So, who are the agents who help the seeds to scatter away from the parent plant? Wind, water, and animals. Those are the agents which help in dispersal of seeds. Let us go through wind dispersal. Usually the seeds which are small and light are scattered by wind. For example, it may be dandelion and cotton seeds which have long and fine hair surrounding the seeds. Can you see the long hair-like structure or fine hair-like structure which surrounds the seeds? This makes it easy for the wind to carry the seeds far away from the parent plant. Other than that, some seeds will have wings also. It may be as in maple and drumstick seeds. These maple and drumstick seeds have wings attached to them which help them to float in air. So they move far away in wind from the parent plant and join the soil. When the conditions favor them, they grow into new plants. Water dispersal. You all have seen that many plants will grow in water. For example, it may be lotus. So, what about the seeds of the plants? So, seeds of such plants which grows in water or nearby flowing water will get dispersed by water itself. These plants have fruits and seeds that can float in water. For example, it may be water lily, lotus and coconut. You all have seen coconut fruit. Isn't it, children? Yes, it has husk where air is trapped in between the husk. So, in between the fibers there in the husk, air will be trapped. This makes the coconut to be very light and easy to float in water. So water carries these fruits and seeds to far away places, and thereby it goes away from the parent plant, and when the conditions gets favored, it joins the soil and grows into a new plant, or it may grow in the water itself. Animal dispersal. How the animals will help in dispersal of seeds. You all have seen that many animals, including human beings, will eat the fruits of many plants. What we do? We just eat the fruits and throw the seeds away. Likewise, even the animals or the birds eat the seeds along with fruits. And some seeds are small and hard. And what happens is they come out of the body of the animals as waste. And it will be ready to grow. As they join the soil, it will start to grow. Seeds of guavas and berries are dispersed in this way itself. Some seeds have stiff hair spines or hooks. So this helps the seeds to stick on to our clothes or bodies of animals when they move around here and there in the forest or nearby the plants. And these seeds are carried away to long distances. Some fruits will have special hook-like structures that will hang on to the fur or skin of animals. So they are carried away to far away places and they get dispersed. Like this, the animals also and the birds also help in dispersal of seeds. Last one is the explosion of fruits. Some fruits of plants such as blossom or pea, geranium and touch me not burst open. They just burst open or explode when they are dry. So scattering of the seeds will be easy and it will move far away from the mother plant. So this is known as explosion. They just burst open and explode when the fruits become dry. So this is also a way of scattering of the seeds by the plant itself. Now we have studied about dispersal of seeds, where we have studied about wind, water, animal dispersal and explosion of fruits also. Wind, water and animals are the agents whom will help the seeds to get dispersed to faraway places. Let us study one more term from this lesson, that is crops. All have heard about crops. So crops are a group of plants that are grown in fields. It will provide us with food and other useful things. So what are crops? Those are the plants which grows in field and which will provide us with food and other useful materials. Crops can be of many types. For example, it may be food crops or fiber crop or oil producing crops. And food crops provides us mainly with the food. It may be like rice, maize or wheat. Whereas fiber crop gives us mainly fiber rich materials. It may be jute or hemp. Oil producing crops gives us mainly oil rich foods. It may be peanut, mustard and linseed. So what is necessary for the crops to grow well? What do you think is very much necessary for the plants to grow well? As you have already studied in this lesson, you all know that sunlight, water and air is required. At the same time, they need good soil with minerals also. Yes, they need good soil with minerals in it. They need manure or compost where it will support the growth of the plants, and whatever food is grown in the field will be very nutritious, as well as the outcome will be good. Okay, so all crops need water, sunlight, air and good soil. Different crops grow well in different conditions. Different crops in the sense, it may be rice will be grown in one season, whereas peanut or mustard may be grown in some other season. The conditions for the growth of the plants will be different from one another. Wheat grows well in cold weather, but rice grows well in hot weather. Bajra requires less water to grow and grows well in sandy soil. But what about rice? You all have seen paddy field in Kodagu, isn't it? Yes, rice or paddy requires lot of water and grows well in clay soil. Water must be stagnant there, isn't it? It must be a standing water for the rice to grow well, for the paddy to grow well properly, isn't it? Tea and coffee grows best in fields where water is not allowed to collect or to stand. That is why they grow well on the hilly slopes of Assam, Darjeeling and Nilgiris. Even we grow coffee here in Kodagu, isn't it? What about the condition of the soil? Yes, it is dry. It is not a stagnant water there. The soil will be dry throughout the year. And of course, they need water. But you have to understand that the soil remains dry. In India, we have two crop seasons during the year. It may be summer crop and winter crops. Summer crops are called kharif crop and winter crops are called rabi crops. Can you see the picture of a pumpkin field? Yes, have you all seen? Yes, if not, you can see in this picture. Summer crop, as I said, are called as kharif crop. Rice, millets, maize, jowar, bajra, cotton, jute, hemp and peanuts are the examples of the crops that grow well in summer. Onion, pumpkin, brinjal, lady's finger, spinach, tomato, garlic and gourds are example of kharif vegetables. Mango, watermelon, lychee, plum, apricot and peach are the example of kharif fruits. Coming to winter crops, they are also called as rabi crops. Wheat, barley, gram and mustard are some of the examples of the crops that are grown well in winter. Which are the vegetables that are grown in winter? It is cauliflower, carrot, radish, turnip, peas and beans are the rabi vegetables. Rabi fruits are apple, banana, pomegranate and berry. So understood which are the two types of crops? Kharif crop and rabi crops that are grown in summer and winter respectively. The last topic of this lesson is to understand to grow the good crops well. What are the conditions necessary in order to grow healthy crops and get good yield from them? A farmer has to keep the following points in mind so that he will grow good and healthy crops. What has to be done mainly? The field or the soil in which the farmer grows the crops has to be plowed. What do you mean by plowing? Plowing is a process in which the soil will be turned up and down with the help of machines. It may be like tractor or tiller or with the help of animals also. So plowing is very much necessary before growing any plant in the field. The soil should be suited to the kind of crop grown. So plowing is very much necessary. That means the farmer has to prepare the field for growing crops. Secondly, manures and fertilizers should be added to the soil to make the soil fertile. Manures and fertilizers give nutrients to the plants. When nutrients are provided to the plants, they grow properly and the yield will be more. So the soil where the crop is grown should be fertile soil. Third point is whenever the seeds are chosen, good quality seeds must be chosen and hybrid and disease free seeds must be chosen. The fourth point is crops should be irrigated at right time. Sometimes during an year the rain may not occur in right time. So what a farmer has to do? He has to irrigate the field by artificial means. It may be by sprinkler or by drip irrigation. Sprinkler system is by using pumps and motors. At the same time, drip irrigation is also giving the water drop by drop to the plants and by using pipeline system. So water has to be given if the rain doesn't come at right time. The fifth point is you all know that always the crops has to be protected from insects, birds, small animals or from diseases. So a farmer has to use pesticides or insecticides in order to prevent the diseases or in order to keep the insects, birds and small animals away from the crop field. Then only he can grow good crops. The sixth point is you all know about herbivorous animals. What are herbivorous animals? Those animals which will eat grass and plant products only or only the plants. Those are herbivorous animals. So these animals which come across the crop plants should be not allowed to enter the field. They must be kept away from the field so that they may not spoil the crop plant. What has to be done? Field should be properly fenced. It has to be protected from herbivorous animals. The seventh point is, have you all seen some other plants growing along with the crop plants? You might have seen, isn't it? So, the unwanted plants which grow along with the crop plants are called as weeds. Those weeds has to be removed from the crop plants. How it has to be removed? Either manually by human beings, by using some machines also it can be removed. Why to remove these unwanted plants? Because these unwanted plants will compete with the crop plants for nutrients. They will take all the nutrients from the crop plants or from the soil. So, these crop plants may not get the nutrients properly. That is why the weeds has to be removed from the field. The last point is that the harvested crops should be protected from moisture, pests, and small animals such as rats and squirrels. Always the harvested crops has to be protected first of all from moisture content. Moisture means the water content in the food substance there or in the food. It has to be protected from small animals which come to eat the food, that may be rats and the squirrels. So always the harvested crops should be stored properly. It has to be protected. They should be stored in dry place or in airtight containers or in big storage rooms so that pests and squirrels or small animal like rat may not enter that room. Moisture can spoil the harvested crops by allowing growth of fungi and bacteria. If water content is there in the food, then it allows the growth of fungus and bacteria, thereby the food will decay and get spoiled. That is why moisture has to be removed from the food substance before storing. It can be dried under the sunlight, then it has to be stored so that it remains as it is for many days together without getting spoiled. So, which are the steps to be followed before growing the crops and after growing the crops? First of all, plowing the field is very important, applying manures and fertilizers also. Then, while growing the crops, we have to choose good quality seeds. Crops has to be irrigated. Crops should be protected against diseases, insects, birds and small animals by using insecticides and pesticides. Unwanted plants, that is weeds, should be removed from the crop field. Herbivorous animals should be kept away from the fields. That means the field has to be fenced properly. Then the harvested crops should be protected from moisture, pests and small animals such as rats and squirrels. It has to be dried properly in sunlight so that it can be stored for a longer duration without getting spoiled. Did you all understand the lesson, children? Hope everybody understood the lesson. If you all have any doubt, just you can text me. Thank you.